Listen, guys, when you get tired of being lost, when you get like sick and tired of being stuck and confused or like even afraid, in my opinion, that's when life begins. Fear is like walking around with shackles on your ankles. I believe fear is the number one thing that holds us back. It's like it keeps us from believing in ourselves. It keeps us from recognizing our inner strength, and it's like quicksand or something, but that moment when you get tired of those shackles, you get tired of not knowing what the heck to do in your life, you get tired of that quicksand, you just say enough. It's like when you're desperate for a change, for goodness sake, man, you just want to live. You want to be better than you were yesterday. You just get sick and tired of living in fear. That moment just happens. That's how it happened for me, at least. Living the same day over and over again, the same routine. It's like being in a maze or something. Matter of fact, you guys ever saw the movie The Maze Runner? It's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. If you guys ever saw that movie, then you know exactly what I mean. Living in a section, going about your day-to-day routine, just making it the best way you know how. If you try to get out, you have to go through a maze that it doesn't only have monsters in it, but it actually shifts every night, making it almost impossible to figure out how to get out of there. I love that movie. I love The Maze Runner because you can learn a lot from that movie. See, when I watch movies, I'm not just trying to be entertained. I'm looking for hidden messages because believe you me, messages are in most movies. It's like, I think there's a difference between the plot and the message, but that could just be me. I'm a movie buff, so I actually listen to movies more than I watch them since I'm so used to having them playing while I move around and do stuff, but check it out, guys. Check out that movie if you haven't seen The Maze Runner, especially the first one. It's like for the character Thomas, living in fear, it went out the window, when he wanted out of that life. It's like it didn't matter to him how comfortable they tried to make it feel in there. He didn't care anything about those monsters or any of that, He was sick and tired of being scared to go outside their comfort zone and just accept that for their fate. I know exactly how that feels, guys. I've been through that moment, just like the movie. Yes, you're gonna have to go through the maze. It will be monsters that you have to face in the maze. Those monsters will attack you. Some may even go so hard that they're actually trying to take your life. Even the shifts. The maze will shift your direction. Maybe not every night, but it will shift. But just like that group of kids, we have to make a choice. Do we stay in our comfortable little section, or do we say enough and go through that maze? Let me be transparent, guys, because I have to be. When you first go in that maze and you have to face your first monster, aka issues, you start reconsidering. You start thinking about going back, or at least I know I did. But that's the thing, guys. The minute you step foot in that maze and fear turns into faith, you keep going fearlessly. It's like you turn into something else, like a transformer. I told you guys I'm a movie buff, but it's like once you move forward and every hurdle you jump, little by little, you start remembering who you are. You start tapping into your inner strength, and there's no turning back after that. When you call on your ancestors and angels, your spirit guides, and you decide to choose to walk with the Most High, that's it. There is no turning back. And you don't even see it as a maze anymore. You see it as your path, and you become unbreakable and unstoppable. Now, I'm not saying it'll be easy because that's not true, but to force that fear out your life, it's worth it. At least that's how I feel. It's like you start facing those things that you were scared to do. You start facing those traumas that you buried. You recognize how beautiful you are inside and out. And life just looks different. Wherever you were stuck, you get unstuck. You start enjoying life better. You start to look better, feel better, smile more, even if it's an internal smile like I do. You're more grateful. It's like because you bet on yourself and you took that leap of faith, you just refuse to let fear dictate your life anymore. There are dangers in the world, guys. So let's be realistic about that. But you learn to be cautious instead of fearful. And what's your secret weapon? I always talk about it. It's your intuition. The more you drop your ego, not fully though, don't fully drop your ego, but the stronger your intuition gets. That ego of yours, It can get you jammed up if you lead by your ego. It literally blocks your intuition if you let it. And you do not, for any reason, want to ever block your intuition, especially because of something like ego. It's just not worth it. Listen, guys, we're not crazy if we get to that moment when enough is enough and we just don't want to live in fear. We want to live. I refuse to give fear any more power. I just refuse. And we're not crazy if we decide to bet on ourselves and walk right into that maze and never look back. We are not crazy, guys. If we ditch that negative thought pattern of thinking that we have to be in a box of living the same day over and over again, and we decide that we want to do more in life, be more in life, we just do it. That doesn't make us crazy. It makes us brave enough to step into our greatness. We all have it in us, guys. Every single one of us. We just have to remember it. That's how I feel. And that doesn't make me crazy. Because I'm not crazy. And neither are you.